Hello everyone, welcome to another thrift store pickups video. If you watched my video yesterday, you know that I mentioned that Amanda went after work to another half-price day on her own, found a huge stack of books, really good, the same place where the other week I found all of those Stephen King books at once. So she found a bunch of other books, that's great. And go ahead and go through those, and then look a few things that I found this morning. First off, she found another Stephen King, The Stand, a newer version with the new CBS All Access series. I have the original miniseries of The Stand on Laserdisc, and it's okay. Not one, it was a Laserdisc that I got for free, not one I would have bought on my own. It's just kind of okay, not one of my favorite Stephen King things. These are cool. A series of hardcover Star Wars books. One newer one, Before the Awakening. Yeah, definitely for the store, obviously. And then a few older ones. We have The Crystal Star hardcover, The Courtship of Princess Leia, and The New Rebellion. And this is the era, the only era of Star Wars books that I'm really into. We both like Star Wars and grew up with it, but we're not big Star Wars fans. Neither of us play a lot of the games or are really into the expanded universe of cartoons or anything. We're pretty much fans of the original trilogy, really like it, and kind of like some other Star Wars stuff. But for me, the books, there was starting with like the Timothy Zahn, Admiral Thrawn trilogy, and then for like a not even 10-year span, like a 5 or to 8 year span, there were a couple of books in there that I really liked and enjoyed and got a lot from the library growing up. And outside of that, I don't really care. But those fit into that demographic. So I actually have to look at a couple of them. One of these might be for us. I have to look at our personal library and the recipe for the store. One video game related book, BioShock Rapture, which I haven't played any of the BioShock games, but I'm pretty sure isn't that the place that isn't that the place where the third game takes place? I don't know anything about BioShock. Or is the third game like a prequel and then it sunk into the bottom of the sea and that's where the other ones take place, 1 and 2? Again, I know nothing about BioShock. Bunnicula, Edgar Allan Poe, 1 Animorphs, 2 Goosebumps, one that I always get a lot of flack for, Shocker on Shock Street, because this is a very popular one, a lot of people like, and I just never have. I didn't like the episode that much, I didn't like the book that much, it was just kind of middle of the road for me, and one that a lot of people love, so I always get a lot of flack for that one. A few more just kind of general paperbacks for either Macari, or, I mean not Macari, for Pengo, or eBay. We usually do a lot of books, these Ranger's Apprentice, that kind of thing. A lot of very Rise of the Robots and just general fiction kind of stuff that when you get them for $1, it's worth grabbing, or it's not, it's even less. These are both the same author. Pretty dresses, no idea what this is. Looks like young adult fiction kind of thing. And then Ithaca. No, this is a pretty cover. This is gorgeous. Definitely one that Amanda picked up because she was attracted to that. She's a huge mythology buff. She is someone who, you know, could have been a teacher of mythology if she really wanted to, especially Egyptian, Greek, Roman, you know, a lot of the Western classical mythology she's really into. So that was that, and one other book that's going to be a gift for somebody, so I toss that over there. I went out again this morning, and I usually don't go, especially to a Goodwill, 2 days in a row, because the chances of there being anything new is like almost zero. But I was out that direction anyway. I had to go to like Walmart, which I hate, and a couple other places, so I was within a 3-minute drive of that Goodwill, so I decided to stop by no matter what. So I only grabbed a couple of things. Again, there was very little that was new. One book that I'm saving to give as a gift. This is The Painted Girls, a novel that I grabbed because it's the large print edition, and sometimes with very common, doesn't go for much kind of fiction books, if you find a hardcover large print edition, that's more likely to sell because there are far fewer of those out there and they're harder to find. So if someone's looking for that, they might grab that. You Just Don't Understand, Women and Men in Conversation, and Purple Hibiscus, another one for Amanda to put up on like Pengo or something like that. So that was about it. But you know, I spent 43 cents was the total, so it wasn't a total waste of time. And while I was out today, I did find 2 things unexpected. One was a Christmas gift for Amanda, which I'm really excited about, because we are behind on finishing up for Christmas. Normally we're done by the time like September hits, and have like 1 or 2 things left. This year, though, we've definitely fallen behind. We have to catch up. I'm really excited for one thing that I'm getting for somebody. Very happy about this thing I found today for Amanda, which, yeah, and it's weird too because Amanda's usually the one I have done first, and not really this year. I just haven't come across a lot. That, and one thing that I grabbed that it was $10. So I'm like, okay, we are finishing up again our DVD and Blu-ray collection, that kind of stuff. One thing we didn't have, because we both grew up with, Amanda had the Disney Channel from the time it was like a pay channel, like a separate thing. I watched it during the summers when it was free, and then when it became a regular channel later on. But we grew up watching a lot of the original animation for those channels, which are amazing. DuckTales, Gummy Bears, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, going on with that kind of stuff. And one of my favorites, probably my favorite of any of those, was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Did not own that. And I was looking for these two older prints, the volume 1 and 2 originally, because I like the packaging a bit more, but brand new, it was $10. So I was like, might as well. And I do want to get still the German version of volume 1, Chip and Chap, because I remember that from watching in the summers. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I remember, because we go to Germany just about every other summer, and then we went one Christmas, and I went on my own, like it was like 2 summers in a row one year, that kind of thing. For some reason, if you flew at the right times and you were arriving in the AM, like kind of early AM, which was pretty frequently, they would always, on Lufthansa Air, play cartoons in the morning. You have news, and then you have cartoons, and it was always Chip and Chap. It was the German version of Chip and Dale, always. So I like have very vivid memories of that in the mornings, and then I'd see it on TV regularly as well. So I do want to get volume 1 on the German DVD, and yeah, for $10, I decided, it takes up less room anyway, even though I like the packaging a little bit less. 51 episodes for $10, that's awesome. One of my favorite childhood shows, so definitely wanted to grab that when I found it. I'm like, hey, you can't pass it up. Brand new, $10, didn't own it at all. So Disney is like the biggest category that's kind of left for a lot of things, both DVD and Blu-ray, partially because Disney owns and distributes so many things that are used to be non-Disney as well at this point. But yeah, so it's a different insert out. It's a decent set. It's the same discs as the individual versions 1 and 2. So you can see the one, that's why it's like white on there for its volume 1, and the more silver is volume 2. So it's the same discs. It might even be, I'm not sure about the release years, but there's even a chance it could even be the same pressing. It could literally be the same thing, just repackaged. I'm pretty sure it's what it is. So it's not that big of a difference. So $10, awesome. Actually, pretty excited. I'm gonna go watch a little bit of that today, maybe, because looking at it's like 9:30 in the morning, still pretty early. But according to the release schedule, I should have a package showing up within the next like 2 hours from FedEx, full of ABBA, cool ABBA. So hopefully you will see in a few hours after this, you'll see my face again with some ABBA. And then tonight we have a movie we're watching, because we found, we'll talk about this when I do the next video of like additions to the movie and TV collection, probably this weekend. We found a Christmas special that Amanda has been looking for years. When she saw as a kid, had taped off TV, couldn't remember the name of. It's a little more obscure. When she described it, I had no idea what she was talking about. We finally found a Warner Archive DVD of it, found out what it was, and it's coming hopefully tonight, so we're going to watch that this evening. As soon as she gets home from work, she's very excited. I'm actually excited because I'm very curious to see it. So, and it's always that way with a lot of, Amanda has always been one to go to bed early, get up between like, sometimes like 3 to 5 in the morning is usually Amanda's wake up window, even as a kid. So she would always watch these like weird obscure things super early in the morning when they're kind of filling program blocks with like cheaper content, not necessarily the prime stuff. So she would find all these just bizarre things from the 60s and 70s and early 80s that were very not mainstream, kind of offbeat things, and she wouldn't remember what they were called. Just had it like she would record stuff she was like age 7 and was recording stuff early at 5 o'clock in the morning on the VCR and things like that, and making her own tapes. And it's always fun to find those things, try to figure out, it's like, oh my gosh, I see a preview or someone has it in a collection, and I love seeing that look of recollection on her face, and she realized that's what that is. That's how we got into that whole series of canon fairy tales, if you watch those videos, because she watched the Snow White on probably Disney Channel very early, off hours in the morning, and had it recorded off TV, and that was it. finally figured out what that was, had a DVD, finally found out for the first time, she discovered that there's more than just that, there's a whole series of these, and we got all those in the collection and watched those. So that's always a lot of fun, a fun little journey. I love to do that and explore some of the stuff from Amanda's childhood. Always a lot of fun. So a lot of exciting stuff happening with the end of this week, and I'm gonna get off my butt and try and finish up the shopping for the holidays and that kind of thing, because it's running out of time. At least it feels like pressure to me. I know a lot of people don't start till now, but we're usually done months ahead of time. Anyway, so that is it for now, and as I said, you'll hopefully see me again later today.